What's going on, guys? So when I first started playing Albion online, I had the idea of gathering my own materials, crafting my own gear, and that was the way I was going to do it for the entirety of the game. But quickly when you reach like tier 5, tier 6, you realize that it just takes too much time to actually do the whole process of crafting, refining resources, and make your own gear. It sounds cool in practice, but it's not the optimal way to actually acquire gear or even make silver. So in this video I just wanted to go over, and because I received a lot of questions on always the question of what's the best way to make silver. So there's so many methods in Albion Online to make silver, which makes it such a fun game, and the economy is always changing. But for a simple answer, whatever you do to make the most, whatever you're doing, the one word is specialize. So if you do a lot of little different things, you're not going to get the most silver. So if you do gathering, crafting, if you do everything at once on one character, you're not going to be specializing. So people who are specializing in a certain thing, whether it's high tier gathering. So one of the things I did when I first started was I wanted to do ore immediately and just go, even though it come tier like 6, 7, it gets really difficult without the learning points to get it up to tier 8. But if you're going to go into something, whether it's gathering or crafting or even refining, which I've been working on most recently, you'll see some videos most recently on hide refining and stone refining, you will make the most profit by specializing, because most people, and I guess this is a simple answer, most people aren't willing to go to the effort of getting past, tier 6, tier 7 in anything, because it just takes too long. But once you hit, or once you reach that gap, it's going to be worth it. But most people don't want to spend all those learning points or spend all that time gathering to actually get their spec up. But once you do, it becomes very, very profitable. So as I mentioned before, I started with ore gathering, and now that I'm at tier 8, not only do I have like a lot of speed, because I'm at 83 for expert ore and 95, so you get a gathering bonus. When you get to tier 8, you could use a tier 8 pickaxe and actually have an Avalonian one just for more this bonus, more gathering yield, which is 20%, which is very high. But it gets it's 152 damage per second, which I guess when I didn't realize that when I first started. I thought it was just like you're getting your spec up, but it allows you to use better gear or better tools. Now this goes for anything, whether you're doing combat or again refining or crafting. I decided to specialize in bows to start, but then I wanted to go into daggers because it seemed cooler. And now I decided to go into claws combat specialist because I thought that was pretty cool, and I like the skills. Now that's just by preference. There a lot of people recommend different things, but I mainly do it for the PvE, so I could do a lot of as you can see here, I've got a lot of fame credits, which has allowed me to gear up pretty quickly and specialize in leather armor as well as the claws, assassin jacket, and that. Alright, so that's the combat side. And now I didn't do all this to start. I started with the mining, and then I did a little bit of combat because I wanted to try that out. And now I'm working on refining. And you guys, again, if you've seen my other videos, as you get higher and higher spec, right now I'm at I maxed out master, and now I'm going for grandmaster, and then eventually the tier 8 elder. Now this takes, again, this is another thing that takes a long time to do, but when you're at max level, you could be getting 60 to 100 million a month. And this goes for really, I think, anything. I haven't really done crafting because I don't want to specialize in it yet because I don't have enough skill points. I'm focusing on one thing at a time. And those are the skills, and you'll see a lot of videos on my channel for market flipping as well. So I've made, I would say, majority of my money market flipping, and this is another example of specializing. So just knowing the products and the tendencies and things like that are very important as well. I made a beginner's guide if you guys want to check that out. But just knowing the products, knowing what to put buy orders in, knowing the market, And again, this is a very, I would say, a big learning curve because there's so many different items, so many different tiers and enchantments for different items. But again, if you specialize in a specific thing, so let's say if you start with bags, you'll know the tendencies of how quick they sell, and you can go to different tiers. And personally, I just know them from doing it for 6 months. But if you're just starting out, I would just go through and say, oh, okay, I want to either make bags or I want to flip bags. Just go in and just throw a few buy orders in just to test it, and that's how I learned. And then if they get filled, then you keep on. If you get outbid too quickly, then you can, depending on how much you play, you can continue to edit your orders, or just move on to something else with less competition but still have decent profit. So this is just a video I want to make. Thanks again for the 860 plus subscribers. I'm really close to 1,000, so thank you to everyone. Once I hit 1,000, I want to put together all the comments and suggestions from people who have made different suggestions for me, as well as any new players on ways to make silver, whether it's transporting or, and again, that's another example. Knowing the prices of the different markets is another type of specialization that you can go in, and maybe you could just transport items between Bridgewatch and Martlock. And most people aren't willing to do the research of what's more profitable, what's less profitable, which makes this game so great in being able to specialize and still make profit in whatever you're most interested in. So personally, I started with gathering, as I mentioned, then I did some combat, and then specialized in refining. Right now is what I'm working on. I think I'm at 120 million right now, so I'll put that in the thumbnail as on my road to 1 billion. And yeah, so in summary, or in conclusion, you can make, the best way to make silver is whatever you really specialize in. And this includes transporting, it could include crafting, refining, gathering. I mean, I've made a lot of silver in most of these areas just because I've done the research. But if you're just going to go into it as like a general thing, I want to do everything at once, that's fine. You could learn it all, but you're not going to make the most silver unless you really specialize and know the ins and outs of whatever you're working on. I don't claim to be an expert in any particular category at this point, but I've almost maxed stone refining, and I'm getting close to maxing this on hide tanning, and the amount of speed and enchanted nodes I could actually gather really quickly, more than most people, has put me over the edge in the gathering ore area as well. So that's just my quick video. I am playing Diablo, so Diablo 4. So I will be posting some videos on my other channel. So I won't be posting as often right now on this channel. But I just wanted to make this video, and once I hit, I'm almost at 100 stone refining. So in the next week or so, I should be posting another video on that. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, and feel free to comment below with any suggestions or things like that.